Hi, thank you for tuning in to the CREMAC YouTube channel. My name is Lucretia. Today, I want to discuss with you my weight loss journey, my journey to being fit in 2020. So, for me, my journey started back in 2015. Around that time, initially, I was about 145 pounds and I was going through a lot, had a lot of family issues, a lot of health issues, just a lot of issues, a lot of things that were going on. And I became an emotional eater. During that time, I gained about 40 pounds in 3 months. I went from 145 to 195. So, with that being said, I just, for a couple of years, I just dealt with my weight. Brought bigger clothes. I wore a lot of dresses. I didn't really wear jeans too much because I'm a very hippie girl. So it was hard for me to find jeans in my size. And for me, I kind of was at a point where I felt like if I would buy a lot of larger size clothes, then I was surrendering to that size. A lot of the clothes that I wore was basically, I wore a lot of dresses and things with stretch material in it and things like that. So it was in 2018, in 2017, I ended up, unfortunately, getting separated from my husband, my ex-husband. And during that time, I was still at my heaviest. Now, that didn't have anything to do with us getting separated, but it was during that time that I really kind of analyzed myself and I said, I need to try to do some things differently. So I tried during 2017. We separated in July. I tried from August until December, but I still couldn't. I couldn't get anything to stick. I would maybe start something for a week and then I would fall off with it. So in December 2017, I went to a classmate's Christmas party. They had a birthday party, but it was during Christmas time. And when I took the pictures, I was mortified, you guys. I did not recognize the person on these pictures. And I knew then, I needed to make a change. But once again, I didn't really know what to do to make a change. So I just, just kept on honestly with what I had been doing. My turning point was in March of 2018. So around that time, I went in for a weekly annual checkup, with my doctor. When I went in for the annual checkup, once my doctor ran blood work, he told me that I was at higher risk for having a heart attack. Some of my blood work didn't look right, and it was a lot dealing with my heart. So at that time, he didn't want to refer me to a cardiologist. He told me that he wanted me to at least drop 20 pounds. So I was 195. He wanted me to drop down to 175. Immediately, I began working on it because then I was like, okay, this is serious. This is dealing with my heart. You only have one heart. And I was really, really scared. So immediately what I started to do is I still didn't know what I was doing, but I just started walking. I went to the track at my kids' middle school and I just started walking in like mid-April. And I would go out there, you guys, and I would walk. I would walk like 2 miles. It would take me like an hour to do 2 miles, but I would just walk because I knew that I needed to lose weight. And it was hard. It was hard. It was very hard. And I just kept walking. And then I would say I posted a picture on one of my social media platforms. And one of my classmates saw the picture. I think it was on Facebook. And he saw the picture. And he was like, hey, we're doing a 100-mile challenge in the month of June. Would you like to join in the challenge? And in my mind, I was like, oh, I don't think I'm going to be able to do 100 miles. Up until this point, I hadn't been using an app or anything. I knew like 4 times around the track was 1 mile. So I was doing 8 times around the track. And so I said, okay, I'll join. And that really started pivoting, the change in me. I started walking and I was trying to get to this 100-mile challenge. But it's crazy because during this time, I never really got on a scale like that. And I stayed in the same clothes. As I told you guys, I really didn't own, like, I maybe owned like one pair of jeans, but you know how you have jeans for a long time. So the jeans were already fitting to me. So I mean, they could have been a size 14, who knows? But I had already kind of broke the jeans in, per se, for lack of a better term. So I was still just wearing a lot of dresses and things like that, and I would not weigh myself. And so what happened is at the end of the challenge, I think I ended up doing maybe 60 miles, 65 miles. From that point, I could see that I was getting smaller, but I was still kind of scared to weigh myself. And so I didn't weigh myself until I went back to my doctor a couple of months later. And my doctor was like, you've dropped about 15 pounds or whatever. You're doing good. Continue to try to lose more weight, because he ran the test again. And he was like, your heart is still not showing correctly, everything we need for it to show. But I still don't want to refer you to a cardiologist at this point. Let me continue to monitor it because you're losing weight. So around this time, I ended up going into my local recreational center, and I realized that they had a gym inside of the recreational center. You guys, I was so nervous and I was so scared to actually join a gym because I was still, to me, very overweight. I don't know how to use equipment. I just was nervous. But I, pushed my fear to the side and I joined the gym. And this had to be, let's see, we're in 2018. So this had to be like maybe around September, October, because it started getting cold outside. So I needed to go inwards to work out inside because it was too cold to walk. And when I went to the gym, I remember the first day, I was so nervous. But everybody was so nice. I guess they knew I was a newbie and I learned so much. So many people helped me with different equipment. And I just started going. I was going 5 days a week, some days, sometimes 6 days a week. I would do my cardio and then I would do my weight training. And I did this for a while. And then I want to say around my birthday, that's when I weighed myself. And during that time, I was down, you guys, to 152. And I was shocked because I was like, oh my goodness. And another thing happened, yeah. So during that time, I went to Ross. I wanted to get some jeans. And so I immediately, I went to like the 16s because I knew I was in that size originally. And I tried on the 16, it was too big. So I went back to the rack and I got a 14. Went back in the dressing room, tried it on. It was too big. Then I went back to the dressing room, got a 12 and a 10. So I tried on the 12, it was too big. The 10 was fitting, but it was kind of saggy in the crotch. And so I went back one more time and I got these jeans, you guys. They were not even like designer jeans or anything. They were just some basic jeans, that Ross sells. And I was nervous to put them on, but I tried them on and they fit. And I just remember being in the dressing room and I remember being in tears and just crying. And so I guess one of the other ladies that was in one of the other dressing rooms, she came to my dressing room, knocked on the door, and I opened it and she said, "Are you okay?" And I said, I'm in a size 8, I haven't been in a size 8 in over, so many years. And I can't believe I can fit these jeans. And, I was able to fit them. And here's a picture of the jeans that I was in at that time. And I was just over the moon. And I got my jeans and I left. So that was in 2018. And from there, I continued to work out, just going to the gym and everything. But I still didn't have the eating part quite right. I knew kind of what to eat a little bit, but not enough. And to be honest with you all, I'm a Pepsi addict. I love soda. So, I was still not getting the abs that I wanted because of soda, And, what happened is I continued to work out. 2019, continued to work out. And by my birthday time, 2019, I was even more toned. And I'll put a picture here because I was lifting weights, almost 5, 6 days a week. And, going to the gym, still doing cardio. And by this time, I had incorporated a lot of water into my life. So that water really made a difference. But once again, I was still struggling with the food portion. And so, from 2019, I did great. I stayed 155, 160. And then 2020 hits, still doing great. And then COVID-19 happens. With my company, great company, we basically, for a couple of weeks, I was sitting at home. I was still getting paid, thank God. But I was sitting at home waiting on the contingency plan. During that time, you all, I'm not going to lie. I mean, I drank, I ate whatever I wanted to eat, and I just, laid around a lot. And reason being is because I work so hard and I'm usually so just very type A, just everything has to be done a certain way every day. And it was just one of the first times in a long time that I was able to just kind of live my life freely. And so with that, I ballooned back up to 172. And what happened is I saw a picture of myself singing karaoke with the kids. I'll say drunk karaoke because I was drinking. And I was like, oh my goodness, I'm gaining all this weight back. And from that point, that was in, I think, April, I started back working out. So because the gyms were closed, what I've been doing is I started walking every day. And during that time, my sister and I, she wanted to do a 60-mile challenge. So we did a 60-mile challenge in, I think April. And I did 61 miles. I think 61.43 to be exact. And then in May, we did the 100-mile challenge again. I teamed up with the guys that had originally got me into the 100-mile challenge, and I asked them to put it back out there. And I ended up at like 75.76 miles or something like that. And I was very proud of myself. But during those months, I started eating better, you guys. I started doing more boiled eggs. I started doing more protein. I started cutting back on the carbs. I'm not going to lie to you all and tell you that I'm sugar-free. I mean, I'm Pepsi-free or soda-free because I'm not. But for the most part, I really, really drink water throughout the day, and I limit the sodas. And then I started seeing a drastic change with myself, and I liked how I was looking. So currently I'm 160 pounds. Prior to, me gaining the weight back during COVID, I say I was kind of mostly in size 29 and 30 jeans. Now I'm more like just in 30s, and that's fine, because I think my thighs have gotten bigger because of all the running and walking. And then I do a lot of squats and resistance training. But overall, I just wanted to share my fitness journey with you all and just to let you know that you can do it. Never let anyone tell you that you cannot. And it's baby steps, you guys. It's baby steps. And I always, tell people, take a lot of pictures. The pictures will really tell you the story of where you've been and where you need to go. And don't be hard on yourself because muscle weighs a lot of time more than fat. So if you gain some pounds back, don't really get discouraged. More so take your measurements. I do a lot with I measure 3 places for me. My bust, I measure my waist, around my belly button, and I do my hips. And that's how I can tell if I'm progressing in the right way. But I do thank you so much for listening. I am new to YouTube, but I'm very, very excited. And I have a lot of things I want to share with everyone. So I ask that you please like, subscribe, and comment on my video. And I do thank you so much for tuning in and watching.